I started to pick the boys up on Saturdays and take them out to this place where it was a sports complex owned by a friend of mine who used to allow me to bring the boys out, gave us a classroom where I could study with the boys and tutor them and give them a chance to catch up on homework assignments that they were behind on. So we did this every Saturday. And so as we would come to study hall on Saturdays, I started to introduce other components of the program to them.
So the steps that they had to earn, you helped them earn the steps as well?
Yeah, we helped them earn the steps. You know, we gave them an opportunity to study, to get tutoring in subjects they were having difficulties in, which helped them do better in school also, which gave them an opportunity to make a step in the program. And the citizenship thing, you know, we started to have an impact on their citizenship by having group discussions with them about the importance of following the rules, the importance of being a good person, talking about respect and talking about just making good lifestyle choices and things of that nature, and then role modeling for them, having other black men that would come out and serve as a perfect role model. They could see these men who have made good choices, who have reached a measure of success in their lives, and they could see that if they could do it, certainly I can do it, because when they looked at those men, they saw their future. And for those men, it was good for them, because when they looked at those boys, they saw their past. So it was a perfect situation where you brought together a group of responsible African American men with a group of boys who grew up in the same neighborhood, who went to the same schools, who had the same challenges in life, and we were able to spend time together every Saturday. And me as an officer, I was on the campus almost on a daily basis. If I wasn't on the campus, I was at their homes in the evening time, making home visits. On Saturdays, you know, I would catch them out on the playground, at the parks, the local parks in our neighborhood, throwing the football around. I'd get out and throw the football around with them, or I'd get out of my car and shoot basketball with them on the basketball court in their neighborhoods, or I would simply stand on the corner with them and talk to them. So there were always a presence. There were always, I was always there, you know, intervening, talking them through situations. They were having problems. They began to trust me, and they began to share things with me before they tried to deal with it themselves.
The way that was made for us was, it was like, okay, you have an incentive to do good in school. When you do good in school, you get something back, you know, and it made you feel good. It got to the point to where, you know, it was a whole lot of things that was actually looked at and that you get judged on, like citizenship. Who thought anything about citizenship and attendance? Teachers telling the Deputy Norcross, do you got your materials in class, paper, pen, pencil, notebook, book. I remember going to class, I didn't take books.
It's always good to, you know what I'm saying, the people that you've been with, you bonded with, to actually see you grow, you know what I'm saying, actually see you grow. As Austin Norcross as an instance, you know, he planted those seeds in us, you know what I'm saying, now we sprouted. We're alumni now, we're all doing different things, and it's a wonderful thing to be able to come back and to share the success with the peers or with Austin Norcross, and let them know, you know, how he's helped us, you know, succeed in life.
Think about, you know, a good analogy for cultivating is when you look at a farmer. A farmer just don't go out there on hard, dead soil and drop seed and come back the next day. You don't expect to have a crop. I mean, when you cultivate, you invest. When you cultivate, you have a direct hand in how the progression of whatever you're trying to cultivate. If a farmer's trying to cultivate a crop, he's got to make sure that he's there day in, day out. He's got to make sure that he's there to water, to turn soil. He's got to make sure that he has a hand in how his crop turns out. He can have a good crop. You can have a crop that's going to die out and that's not going to produce anything to sustain anyway. So when I use the word cultivate, I'm thinking as far as, you know, the role that a mentor or a teammate has in a young man's life. I mean, what are you cultivating? How are you cultivating? Are you just showing up? Are you just kicking back with somebody? Oh, y'all seen the game another day and doing nothing at all? Or are you making sure if you see something that you can correct? If you see a certain attitude or you see a certain mannerism in somebody, are you able to relate, get down to that person's level or up to that person's level, relate with them and explain there may be a better way, or explain to that person, well, you know what, I would have handled it this way. What do you think about that?
I think that back when we first started, and it was deputies that were teammates before it got to be the teammates that it is now, there was cultivation, and now it's even more so. The teammates that we have now are even more versed in the OK program. They've been around for a long time. And the ones that we have that steadily come now, they play with the kids. We got Geraldo Rodriguez that's out there, and he plays basketball with them every Saturday. That's how he stays young.
Just like we have a passion for the football field, the basketball court, the baseball diamond, we need to take that same passion to the classroom. And I guarantee you, those test scores will skyrocket.
That basketball not gonna get you. That basketball not gonna get you. But education is the closest thing to freedom that you're ever gonna have. The jobs and the money that these young men talking about, education. So if you don't latch on to education, you're not gonna get the BMWs and the things that you want.
Larry and I were talking about dreaming. Dream the dreams, but figure out how to get to those dreams. Figure out how to get to those dreams, no matter what it is. If you see something you want to do, you can do it. But you gotta dream it, but you gotta want it. You gotta know the steps it takes to get there. You need the map. And I can tell you right now, for me, what I was missing from school, which I think this program gives you, the map. Because I think I would probably make some different choices in my life if I had a program like this that was pointing me in the direction of education. Because I can tell you right now, the school system doesn't really do it all the time.
Once that first group of boys came through the program, the ones who followed them was their little brothers. And once the standards has been set in the community, the little boys don't come in and change anything. Because those little boys were used to me dropping off their brothers late at night, coming from trips, or coming out on Saturdays, hang out with them. Their brothers would go home, and the big boys would talk about the fun they were having. They would talk about Officer Norcross, and the little boys would be listening to them. And the little boys couldn't wait to get old enough to join the OK program.
I don't know, the brother Mike Guthrie, he used to tell me so much about death. He used to always tell me, never say the N-word. I remember the first time I said it around Depp. I didn't even know who he was. I was just standing behind him and he heard me and he made me drop. Ever since then, I thought he was a warden. He's always strict and he always makes sure you're on your job all the time. All the time.
You didn't know him and he made you drop?
I didn't know him. That was my first time being at a kicking session. I turned around, 25 push-ups. It's this big. I was, oh, okay, 25 push-ups. No problem. Got it.
What was your most memorable moment?
Probably one of the most important moments in my life, to be serious. When we went on what year was that? I don't remember the year. It was my senior year. The summer trip in August. We went to Lake Tahoe trip. And I remember he made me get up and write all the stereotypes on the board. And stereotype stuck with me now. I'm out to destroy stereotypes now. That's my main objective. You probably look at me, see I got gold teeth, and I look really weird, and you probably wouldn't, just not being a judgmental person, but from looking at me, you probably wouldn't think he's really the type of person to be successful. Never drink or smoke in his life and hold a 3.6 GPA. You wouldn't think that when you see me. And that's when I'm out to destroy that stereotype. It doesn't matter what you look like. Be successful however you look. I got a head on top of my shoulders.
One of my biggest role models I have to say is my brother. My brother, I mean, he came out the program. As a matter of fact, as soon as the program started, he was, I think in the first year the program started, he was there. And I remember my brother because back in school, things weren't always going so well for him. I mean, his grades were down. He was getting in trouble. Things weren't going quite well in our home. And, the program got going, and he just a complete turnaround. You know, I mean, he came home. I think he had like a 3.5, and you know his grades just been on the rise since then. He's I mean, he's got his master's degree. You know, I mean, everything is. There's no stopping him right now. You know, and I'm motivated by him just for the fact that I look at him. There's no stopping him, and one day I'm going to be able to say there's no stopping me.
I'm gonna tell you, look, I'm gonna tell you the story, and Arsenal gonna tell you the story too. I have missed all 3 steps. I have missed all 3 steps, and that 4th step was supposed to be going to like Disneyland.
We were going somewhere.
I wanted to go. Arsenal looked at me and said, "You want to go, but you ain't gonna make it. Look at your break. Look at you ain't." and I worked so hard. I think that's the turning point with the programming. I worked so hard, made up my 3 steps, made the 4th one, and made it to the trip. But that's kind of that's what changed. That's what the OK program did for me. Because I did not care.
When you feel like whatever you do don't affect nobody but just you don't care. You really don't. It's that thing that you have inside of you. Say, you know what? I can't quit, or I can't do bad or poorly because I don't want to disappoint my mom. I don't want to disappoint my dad. I don't want to disappoint the Men in OK program. I don't want to bring down the group, the group that I belong to. I know they're going to check these grades. I want to pull it. I don't be one of the guys who bring everybody down.
But it made me care about doing things. It made me care about getting better grades, doing better in school, because I mean, it did have its perks, talking about you know, you get to go here, you get to go there, you get to rewarded for the good grades. But for a lot of time, my friends was going and I wasn't going.
I remember one time they was going camping, and my mom pulled up. I was begging her, man. I had my bags packed and everything, and I mean, they told me I ain't make the step. I ride past, they at McDonald's eating before they go camping. I see everybody on the bus. They talking about, D's, you going? D's, you going? I ain't want to tell them I didn't make the step. I told them I had to do something. So I mean, that really hurt. So that made me like, oh, I ain't letting that happen no more. That was 7th grade. After 7th grade, nah, I ain't gonna lie, about 9th grade, 7th, 8th grade, I was still going through the changes.
I don't think it was myself that wanted to change at first. When I got in the program, really, I came because they told me it was free food and we was gonna play basketball and stuff like that. But as I got into the program more and got to talking to Officer Norcross and Deputy Turner, you know, they showed me it was, you know what I'm saying, it's a better life out there than just crime, stealing and doing stuff like that. And so after I seen all that and I seen that they was gonna, you know what I'm saying, do this for me if I just, you know what I'm saying, got good grades and stuff like that, then, you know what I'm saying, I decided to change my life.
I really don't feel like I really got a real grasp for the program until I was an adult and I was able to look back in retrospect. I think that the program, you know, at that point, it served its purpose to keep me in line at that point. But, you know, as a kid, you know, you do sit back and you look and you're like, you know, you think this is all fun and games. My whole point of, you know, going to class and doing this and doing that was, you know, so that I could make the steps.
You know, I was looking at these successful black men doing a lot for us, you know, and they was putting themselves out there and they was really putting, you know, their own money out there. And I was like, wow, I mean, these guys are really out there doing this for us. And I was like, man, I wonder if I could do that when I get older.
As mentors come out here, you know, to work with you, they either grab you by your hand and pull you along, or get behind you and push you along. So if we come out here and we work with y'all and do that, then when y'all get to that point, y'all come back, grab a bunch of kids, grab them, push them. Sooner or later, it gotta work. It gotta work.
Between them and my grandmother, it was just a wrap. You know, I just started grinding out that homework, grinding out them tests. I graduated from school, high school, with like a 3.01, I think, something like that. Enough to get me into Hampton University. And at Hampton, I maintained a 3.4. You know, and they gave me a scholarship, and once I finished up Hampton, you know, I was offered a position at my job where I'm a physical therapy assistant, and they offered to pay for my doctorate, you know, after working for them for a year. So, you know, my job is paying for my doctorate now, and I start there in the spring.
Once we got the young men interested in making their steps, and it was clear to them what they had to do in terms of the 4 things, that recipe that I talk about. They had to turn in at least 90% of their homework, bring all their school materials to class each day, have good attendance in school, and follow the classroom rules. That's the recipe to doing well in school. You do those 4 things, you're gonna do okay in school. So once we got them to buy into that system, they said, you know, that's all I gotta do in order to make the step in the program. That's all you gotta do. And if I make the step, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go there. You know, once we got them to understand that, then it was easy at that point to keep them engaged in the program, because we weren't asking them to do anything that they shouldn't be doing anyways. We were just simply saying that if you do these things, we're going to celebrate your success. And, you know, the kids was chasing celebration, but that didn't matter to me why they were doing what they were doing, as long as they did it, because I knew that in the long run they would get a lot more out of it than just a trip to a ball game. If they made the first step, they were closer to the end of the year trip. And then if they made the second step, they started to realize that, you know what, I can do pretty good, the school thing, you know, this is all I got to do, these 4 things. And then they started to see the grades come up eventually. They started to see, and the teachers started to see that they were making an effort. And so the kids started to do better without even realizing that that's what was happening. They were trying to get a trip. They wanted to go somewhere and hang out together. All the boys just wanted to hang out together. They wanted to be together. They wanted to go somewhere and out of town, or they wanted to go to a Kings game together. It was different than just going by themselves, or me taking one by himself. You mean they saying all of my boys going? All of us can go? All you can go if you make the step. How do we make the step? Do these 4 things.
The OGA program has been a crutch when I needed it, as far as giving me the recipe how to be successful in life. I'll never forget Officer Norcross giving a lecture about, he called it the recipe how to be successful in school. And man, it'll always be in my mind, because it's like, when he said it, it made so much sense that I was like, man, I ain't got no reason not to be successful. Because he basically, the grounds of it was, he said, if you show up to class and you stay awake, you listen, you know, through osmosis basically, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna be able to get a C. And I was like, you're right, you know, if I show up to class and I listen and I'm there and I get, you know, 90% attendance, then it ain't no way I shouldn't be able to get a C, man. I ain't that stupid. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I can, you know, and then I was like, ooh, ain't no telling what I can get if I go ahead and write down a couple notes or whatever. I might be able to slide in with a C+ or B-. So then, like, I heard that speech when I was in the 9th grade, and that was right around that time where, you know, it's time to buckle down and try to get into school and stuff. Because, you know, later on, you know, the avenue of college was coming up and everything. So I took that and I applied it to high school to the fullest. And showed up, you know, always had my materials, everything. And it really branched off to being a recipe in life, because, you know, like now I'm like, man, if I just come and I put 100% effort into something, something good gonna come out of it. I'm gonna be average or I'm gonna be above average. I'm never gonna be subpar.
She was talking, I heard her say my name, I looked like this, and they was laughing, and she told them, she said, don't let LaJuan get you in trouble. And it wasn't me. Don't let LaJuan get you in trouble.
First of all, I was raised in a single parent home. Didn't have a father. In an OK program, you know, Officer Norcross and some other offers like the father that you never had. Help you bring you up. When I first started junior high, when my grades were slipping, got the program, the grades jumped up a lot, you know, but it made me look at life different. It teaches me how to also deal with law enforcement officers. Actually, I'm going to be in the law enforcement. I'm taking a test on Monday to be a correctional officer. So, I mean, the program, you know, helped me out a lot.
But now that you're an alumni of the program, how can you transform the classroom rules to the rules that are conducted in life?
Well, basically, you know, he always, Officer Norcross always taught us to, you know, get 100%. And I used to complain when I was younger about how certain person didn't like me, a teacher or something. And he let me know. I mean, there's always going to be somebody who is not liking you, but does that mean you're going to just lay down and take it? Or that means you're going to push harder in life and get to where you need to be? And he always stressed that a lot on me. And so I figure, I mean, you're always going to go somewhere where people don't like you, and where you feel they don't like you, and you can't just lay down and take it. I mean, you got to just keep pushing hard, and can't nobody stop you from what you want to do.
Because education is the important thing, and the more knowledge you get, then the more power you have over people who don't like you, who didn't want you to get it in the first place. So when you see a person who tried to stop you from learning something, you should try harder. It's kind of like football. You the fullback, you the big man on campus, you the fullback on the team. What happens when the defense try hard to stop you? You try harder to score, don't you? You do. They can put up this heck of a defense, and everybody can be 10 on LaJuan. They say LaJuan gonna get the ball, and it's a big play in the ball game. It's like 4th and goal, and you guys are trailing by 5 points. And you know that it's up to me to get that ball across that line. But you also know that everybody on that other side of the line is going to try to stop you from scoring. Am I correct? So what are you going to do? Because they're going to try to stop you from scoring, you ain't going to try? What are you going to do? You're going to go harder. So what if a teacher try to keep you from learning? You got to try harder. It's the same thing.
Man, it helped me a lot. It helped me grow as a man, you know. It just helped me, you know, especially Officer Norcross being there for me. He helped me a lot, you know. He's like a second father to me, and just always, you know, calling, checking up on me and telling me to be positive, you know, because some of the things that I went through, he went through when he was younger, and, you know, just being there for me and always offering good advice and, you know, just help me stay positive. and those things, and also, you know, helping develop good study habits. You know, helped me a lot with that. You know, going through the program on weekends and stuff like that, going to study hall, it just helped develop good study habits, and also helped me, you know, stay out of trouble.
It's real simple. You know, if you have your peers doing one thing, you might want to go along and do the same thing that they're doing, even though you know it's not right. And the OK program prevented that. You know, it was actually like a peer pressure on us. You know, Austin Norcross telling us, you know, and all the other kids, you know, this is not the right way to do it. Let's not do this. And we all came together, you know, as a group. And when you're all doing the right thing, it seems like spread like wildfire. Everybody gonna do the right thing. You got peer pressure on you not to do the wrong thing.
Why is it that so many young black males from Rancho Cordova have become successful?
That we changed our outlook on things. You know, back when, you know, the outlook was, you know, do whatever you can to get past, and you know, drop it after that. You know, we started seeing people, you know, want to do a little bit better. A lot of people didn't want to stay living that life. A lot of, you know, parents didn't want their kids living like that. You know, then you have, you know, male role models, you know, the North Crosses, the Turners, you know, the Ronald Normans, you know, and they come out and say, look, you know, you don't have to do that. I'm a successful black male, I didn't have to do that. You know, I've been there, you know, but I changed my whole mind frame. I changed my whole outlook, and I changed my life. And you could do it too.
Because I know a young man who graduated from the OK program, I saw him last week. Nobody would expect him to ever go to college. Neither one of his parents. Matter of fact, he don't even know his mom. He told me that she abandoned him when he was a baby. He wouldn't know her if she walked up to him today. So he's a young man that he was a gang member. He's a young man that wasn't expected to make it, but he getting ready to start his master's degree. I saw him last week up in Delaware. Joker had a suit on, a tie on, and he got up and spoke. Well, I wish I had a video of it. I wish I could have, because he spoke about the OK program. He spoke eloquently about it. I mean, boy band, just let me tell you like that. He gonna do some big things.
I love the program. I mean, you know, I am who I am today because of the program. You know, there's no other way to put it. You know, some people say some things happen by luck, by chance. It's a, you know, a good chance they might not. I know I am who I am because of the program. As a young man growing up, my mom, she left us in a hotel room. Me and my siblings, my older brothers, they had to go out and steal food, and they were stealing food every day, bringing it back to our hotel room. And you know, the owner of the hotel kept beating on the door, coming in, wanting to evict us from the hotel, but we were minors, so you can't just kick kids out. So eventually, you know, of course, my older brothers got caught stealing. And when the police brought them to the hotel room, they noticed, you know, there was some more kids in there, and they put us all in a foster home. And at that point, they put us in a foster home. That's when I met my father, and that's when I moved to Sacramento, California. And I remember being 12 years old. I'll never forget. I was 12 years old. My older brother was 13. I think he was closer to 14, like a year and a half apart. And we were in a place called Oak Park in Sacramento. And we were in Oak Park. My older brother, he's a slim, you know, goofy kid, just slim, goofy kid. We were playing basketball. He had on a sky blue shirt, and a blood walked up to him, and they were playing basketball too. He's probably about 17, 18. He punched my brother in the mouth, busted his lip open. And you know, everyone looks up to the older brothers. From that point on, I just looked at my older brother crying. You know, he's a young guy, he just happened to be tall for his age. And from that point on, I said, you know what, I hate Bloods, because of what they did to my older brother. And my older brother took on that same approach too. So I became involved, you know, with the Crips, 29th Street Garden Block Crips. And at that time, it was just, you know, you got to do things to prove your reputation. You got to do things, and you know, we did things, and the police came, and I started going to juvenile hall in the 6th grade. The first time I went to juvenile hall was in the 6th grade. I went again in the 8th grade. And after that, you know, my father, he was alcoholic at the time. And you know, my father, he's old school. He's the type of man that when he gets mad, he gonna fight somebody. Yeah, I remember sometimes he'd fight his brothers. They sing the Manhattan song. One of them sing out of tune. They like, that's my part, sucker. And they start fighting. So they were just the type of old school people that just fought. And they didn't have each other fight, they'd slap on us. So, you know, we grew up in a violent household. So my grandmother, she was a praying woman, and she wanted me to not follow the same trend as all my other brothers. So we moved to Rancho Cordova. and it depressed me. I was looking forward to going to Burbank, and I had to go to Cordova, and I got on Cordova's campus, and my grandma took me school shopping. The first thing I went out, bought me some blue and white leather dope mans, and a blue New York Yankees jacket. And I was just raised, my older brother they always told me, you find the biggest blood and you fight them. And I just had it made up in my mind I was gonna kicked out of, I had it made up in my mind I was gonna kicked out of meals. So, you know, I found other kids, the devil knows how to put you with people on the same path, so I found some more kids that had the same mentality as me. So we started playing a game, see who could knock somebody out. And we tapped some guys on the shoulder, and you know, we tap them on the shoulder, just hit them in their face, and see who had, we called it one-hitter quitters. And half the kids got kicked out of school. And I was wondering why I didn't get kicked out of school. I was one who didn't get kicked out of school. Next thing I know, I'm in a meeting, and I met with Deputy Norcross, and you know, he started telling me this and that about the OK program, and I'm just like, man, this is a country bumpkin. He doesn't know anything about the city. You know, he didn't cuss. All he said was Jimmy the Cricket. I'm like, this man has no clue of what we're going through out here. So I continued doing what I was doing. When I was seeing, one thing about me, I was raised with my grandma, so I always try to be respectful. And plus, he looked like he'd go upside our head if he had to. And he always had a gun, so you know, we respected him in his face. But as time progressed, like I told you earlier, my best friend went to jail for murder. And once I seen him go to jail for murder, I realized it was real. And I actually bought into what the OK program was offering. And I'm here today, man. And I'm appreciative for the program, because I know just like that, how it could happen to him, it could happen to me.
How big of an impact do you think that the OK program has made on the city of Rancho Cordova?
Oh, I think it's been a big, big impact. Gosh, I remember about 10 or 12 years ago, we had gangs and people coming to school with guns, and we don't have that anymore.
I think we set a trend, you know. A lot of times in the black community, you know, the gangster image tends to be what people strive for. Whereas in the Rancho Cordova community, you know, a college diploma is what we strive for.
Stand and get my recognition.
Yeah. Program, you know, I did it. Anybody can do it. You guys can do it, especially. I went through the OK program. I was there 8th grade or 7th grade, 12th grade. A lot of support. You know, play basketball on Saturdays. You know, study hall or whatever. All that stuff's good stuff. Stay in there, do your best. You know, in everything that you do, and stay with it. You know, make some goals, set some commitment. Get some commitment, set some goals. You can do it.
Congratulations. You know, Diamond graduated today too.
Yeah, Delaro's just telling me.
Boy, y'all coming out and y'all coming out fast. Hi, how are you?
Fine.
Good to see you.
I told him I haven't seen you since Bobby.
I think that it affected our peer group in a very positive manner. Like if you look at a lot of the people that have been through the program, a lot of the brothers that have been through the program, the majority of us are productive. We've been able to come out and do some positive things, be positive members of our community, and try to help make positive strides. So I think the program really assisted the majority of us in that.
Yeah, you don't know Diamond, huh? He one of the young OK guys. All these guys went through the OK program. They all did. He graduated last night. Johnny, this is Jesse. He graduated from here last night. Last night. And they ain't got to do that no more.
No more.
No more.
No more.
Yeah.
What's going through your mind?
Just say how everybody else is so excited for me.
It's a major accomplishment.
Yeah, man, I see how my accomplishments making everybody else feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really enjoy that. You know, when I first called Deb and told him, well, the graduation Friday, I mean, on the phone, he was just like, I couldn't speak. He just laughed, you know, Deb is. So
yeah, it's exciting stuff, man.
Yeah.
And what you've done is, again, you set the bar higher again, so all the guys who's coming behind you know that it can be done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what you call role modeling. So all those little boys now in the program, when you go back out there and you talk to them, you let them know you graduated from college, then they know there's something that's possible. They know they can do it. So you role model. So it's just another example, you know. We keep setting the bar high. Yeah.
We're moving up.
Just another one. That's another one. And then Diamond graduates tomorrow.
Yep. What's up, boy? I didn't even see you. I was looking for you in the crowd. Okay. What's up, Dev?
The number one thing I got out the program is you represent someone other than yourself. And when you're out there in the streets, you got to be respectable, because whatever you do, it look bad on the next guy. If I go out and rob a bank, it's gonna look bad on Black. It's gonna look bad on Deputy Narcotics, my parents. And that's like the number one thing I got out the program.
All right. You a straight A student. Let's say, and I know you're not, let's say you're a horrible student. Stay in trouble all the time. All right? Matter of fact, you dropped out of school. You decide you're going to get you some money. Walk in the AM, PM down there with the gun. Stick it in the clerk's face, tell him, give me your money. I'll blow your head off. Quick, give me your money. He's nervous, he give you the money, right? You take it and run. You go that direction. She going to get on the phone, call the police, guys. I want you to understand it. She going to get on the phone, call the police. They're going to come out, take a report. They're going to get a description of the guy. He's a young black male, about 5 feet tall, kind of stocky build, had on a jacket, some kind of dark jacket, kind of short hair, and brown complexion, and he headed that direction. All right, you walking in that direction. In that same neighborhood. Police pulls up. Are they going to stop him? Yeah. Why? He didn't rob nobody. White kid walking down the street, they gonna stop the white kid? Asian kid walking down the street, same size, they gonna stop him? Why they gonna stop him? So what he did has an impact on him. You know what they gonna do? Not only they gonna stop him, they gonna throw him out on the ground at gunpoint. They gonna pull a gun on him, they gonna pull him out, they gonna tell him to get out on the ground. They gonna tell him to spread his arms out, his legs. They gonna throw him out. They gonna walk up on him with caution with a gun drawn to his head, and they gonna pat him down. They gonna search. They gonna put handcuffs on him. Before they tell him anything, they gonna make sure you don't have a weapon on him. Officer safety is involved here. They gonna pat him down. He gonna feel humiliated. Straight A student, ain't bother nobody, minding his own business. Good young man. Now, if he just panicked and started running, and don't let him turn around, and they say he had a weapon on him, they might shoot him. And they found out he didn't have anything. That happens all the time. You done heard about it. Good young man. More young black men get killed accidentally by police officers than anybody else in the nation. Happens all over the nation. I want you guys to understand that. This thing is serious, man. Absolutely. I'm trying to demonstrate a point. What if the hole is in his end of the boat, but it's affecting him? Just because the hole is in your end of the boat don't mean I shouldn't be concerned, man. The water's coming in your end, we got to get it out, or else we're going to all sink together.